I state categorically that even the Americans themselves do not have a clear and decisive strategy. One day, Trump says the Strait of Hormuz will become part of U.S. territory, and the next day the White House issues a statement dismissing it as a joke. In the event that the Americans commit an act of folly and launch a ground invasion against our country, entering our territory, a reward has been designated for those who send the American aggressors to hell or take them captive. I state categorically that even the Americans themselves do not have a clear and decisive strategy. Consider this. If they truly possess a specific plan, they would not be changing it so frequently. One day they prepare for a ground war, and the next they retreat, claiming they will continue the blockade. One day Trump says the Strait of Hormuz will become part of U.S. territory, and the next day the White House issues a statement dismissing it as a joke. I want to point out that these contradictory statements, opinions, and behaviors demonstrate that the Americans lack a coherent strategy. This is also due to the desperation in which they are currently embroiled. They have truly become bewildered in their war against us. We remain unaware of the fate of 3 other pilots. The necessary follow-ups were conducted through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the legal department of the President's office, and the Army General Staff of the Islamic Republic of Iran, which directly contacted the Qatari Army and government. These follow-ups have been carried out, but to this day, the Qatari side has responded that they remain unaware of the pilot's fate. We truly hope that Qatar will now show greater seriousness regarding this matter and provide a clear answer, along with documentation, that is acceptable to us. In the event that the Americans commit an act of folly and launch a ground invasion against our country, entering our territory, a reward has been designated for those who send the American aggressors to hell or take them captive. The reward amount has been set at 5 billion tamans for men and 10 billion tamans for the women of Islamic Iran.
Iran accuses this U.S. Gulf ally of holding detained pilots on water, triggering a fresh Qatar-Iran standoff. Doha keeping Tehran's pilots offshore? Qatar versus Iran standoff escalates as fresh allegations emerge over their detention. Iran claims 3 pilots trapped in poor conditions by Qatar, with Tehran demanding answers over their alleged detention. Iran pilots trapped on water in poor physical conditions? Tasneem report raises fresh concerns over their safety. Iran alleges pilots' health is at risk in Qatari custody, as Tehran demands their immediate handover. Iran calls on Doha to hand over pilots held after jet shootdown, escalating the diplomatic confrontation between the two sides. Iran Armed Forces wants Doha to send pilots to a land-based hospital, citing concerns over their physical condition. Iran offered to send an air ambulance to Doha for repatriation, as Tehran seeks the pilot's return, according to Reuters. Earlier, Qatar rejected detaining Iranian pilots and labeled the allegations a media ploy, deepening the standoff. Qatar has categorically denied holding Iranian pilots shot down during the March attack, rejecting Tehran's claims that they were detained. Doha said the Iranian aircraft had violated Qatari airspace and ignored repeated warnings before being engaged during the incident. Qatar said search and rescue teams later located the remains of 1 Iranian pilot who had been reported missing after the clash. Qatar's foreign ministry said it contacted Tehran to coordinate arrangements for the return of the recovered pilot's remains. Qatar claimed it invited an Iranian team to review the search operation, but said Tehran did not respond to the invitation. The denial came after Iran accused Qatar of holding 3 of its fighter pilots for months following the March confrontation. Qatar said the allegations were misleading and came as regional diplomatic efforts were underway to reduce tensions between the two sides. On August 15th, Iran revealed its claimed fate of 3 military pilots who had been missing since a March combat mission involving 2 Sukhoi 24 aircraft. Tehran said Qatari forces captured the 3 pilots alive after their Sukhoi 24s went down, though Qatar had not immediately publicly confirmed the allegation. The aircraft went down during Iranian attacks on Qatar amid the U.S.-Israel war, with the mission reportedly targeting the U.S.-operated Al-Udeid airbase. Iran identified the 3 men as Javad Salehi, Abdulmajid Dashtian and Amran Baraveshan, saying all were taken into custody after the aircraft crashed. The body of a 4th pilot, Majid Kazemi, was returned to Iran after the Qatar operation, with Iranian authorities saying DNA testing had confirmed his death. Iran said 4 pilots were aboard the 2 Sukhoi 24 fighters that went down during the war, leaving 3 men unaccounted for until Tehran's latest claim. Mohammad Bagherzadeh disclosed their alleged fate in a letter addressed to the president of the International Committee of the Red Cross, urging intervention for their release. The letter was later published by the IRGC-affiliated Fars news agency, making it Iran's first public assertion that the 3 pilots survived and were held in Qatar. Bagherzadeh said Qatar has denied the 3 pilots contact with their families, claiming they have not been permitted meetings, interviews, or direct communication for 6 months. Iranian officials seeking information about the pilots have also allegedly been denied access. Mohammad Bagherzadeh said, and I quote, "3 Iranian pilots were captured alive by Qatari forces after the Su-24 fighter jets crashed during the March attacks." Unquote. Iranian officials had previously said information about the 3 pilots was incomplete, maintaining that investigations and diplomatic efforts to trace them were still underway. Until now, Tehran had publicly described the fate of the 3 servicemen as unclear, even as it urged Qatari authorities to provide more information. The new disclosure marks Iran's first claim that all 3 survived the crash and entered Qatari custody, a claim for which Doha had issued no immediate public confirmation.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.